I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
All right, welcome back, everybody, with another episode on the 44 Pod with your host, Mr. Hollywood with himself, and my co-host, Big Hernia, aka Stays Hernia. How we doing, baby? We're back. You know what I'm saying?
Be back. It's a long week, but it's we're recording this on Friday, and
Yeah.
man, life couldn't be better.
I couldn't agree anymore, big dog. It has been a fucking long week. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
fucking today's
I
a good
actually
day.
Fuck, what was I gonna say? I can't remember what I was gonna say. So, fuck me sideways.
Yeah, fuck you sideways. How about that? Let's get red. Feeling a little red today. Yeah, man, fucking sorry for the delay. We were supposed to record an hour ago, but unfortunately, right when I got home, I had to do a bunch of stuff. My wife got her car stuck in our driveway. How she got the car stuck in the driveway in the snow? No fucking idea. But I came home, the car stuck in a ditch into the driveway. It's hard to explain, but it's pretty much in a ditch in the snow in our driveway. So
That's
I
tough.
had to go save her and get the car unstuck and then do a bunch of stuff. So, other than that, I would say it was pretty good, man. I went to the gym after work and then went to go get the dog some dog food from PetSmart. And yeah, man, I was looking forward to the podcast. You know, love talking to Big Hernie over here. And yeah, man, that was pretty much my day today. Nothing too crazy. I'd say the most
Sounds like a good
exciting
time.
thing today is that I finally get to watch the Peaky Blinders movie. It just came out, so
Let's
super
go.
excited for that. So I'm hoping it's not a letdown because I'm gonna be really pissed because I've been looking forward to this shit for so long, and if it's ass, I'm gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be
very
tough.
upset.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking forward to it. I was gonna actually watch it tonight after obviously after this, and then I got a test I gotta take. So after that, it's fucking Peaky Blinders time, baby.
fucking Peaky, fucking Tommy. But yeah, man, how's your day going so far?
Good. It's a little bit warmer than usual in the springtime out here, so that's been great.
Yeah.
Today for class, my walk-in jog class, it was 2.5 miles was due today. So, like the idiot that I am, I decided I'm gonna sleep in an extra hour. Fucking huge mistake. Huge fucking
Yeah.
mistake. I got to like a mile and a half, and it was like fucking felt like 1,000 degrees. It obviously wasn't, but yeah, it was fucking brutal. But yeah, so I had that, and then that was pretty much it. And then kind of I'd say every other day I'm like a chauffeur, so I'm driving basically my siblings around wherever they need to go. So I did a little bit of that, and then yeah, I was working on my business class stuff right now, and then yeah, I was like, yo, I'm fucking ready for the pod, and then obviously
Fuck yeah,
we had a
baby.
little delay, but yeah, I've been looking forward to this pod. Why? I don't know. Not a whole lot of football stuff has gone on, and obviously I would say the bulk of our pods have been kind of revolving around the game of football. There has been a couple things, so we'll obviously talk about those, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like this is gonna be one of the pods where this probably be one of my favorite pods. Hopefully, looking back, because this is probably gonna be one where it's just Rigo and I shooting the shit. There's no real script or questions or formula that we're looking for. It's just gonna be probably just him and I kind of just chopping it up, and I feel like those are some of our best pods are the ones that it's like as if we're just hanging out at a bar or something. So
Yeah, man, I would love to be at a bar right now, but
yeah,
too fucking loud in there, and I don't think people really want to hear a bunch of other people fucking talking and yelling. But yeah, man, I agree. I think it's one of our better pods is when we kind of really don't have a main topic to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just kind of shooting the shits of like whatever's going on. I mean, like Hearn said though, like there is a little bit of football that happened, and there's a few things I do want to address. Far
Yeah.
as NFL wise, but like after those things, it's just kind of like whatever else is going on. Like again, like how we kind of said in the beginning, like in our first pod, we're big movie guys, so there's definitely a lot of trailers that came out this week that we definitely want to
Yeah.
hit on. And some other things like I've been on my pizza hype for a really long time, and that's because I haven't eaten pizza in like a really long time because I'm on this like diet stuff. I wouldn't say on a diet. I would just say eating a lot more healthier, making better choices. Not because of the new year, but just because
That sucks.
um I just got to get my body in better shape. Um, being 29 is it takes its toll, man. After a while, getting up there in age, you really got to start taking care of yourself. But I'm not that old, but just want to be a little. It's just better for health. But yeah. I'm not going to keep babbling on, but let's straight get into it. I want to address
Sure.
the Maxx Crosby thing with the Ravens. So this week
Love it.
there's been a lot of things said. I know when me and Hearn first brought it up, obviously it was breaking news that the Ravens backed out. We gave the Ravens kind of the benefit of the doubt because no one really knew like Maxx Crosby's side yet because he hadn't spoken about it. Like a true professional he is, right? You got to gather the facts, only speak when your people are talking bad about you or when there's things that are not true. And you really want to address the truth from your point of view and the truth. And pretty much what was said first, and it was on the Ravens side from the GM was, "Hey, look, I more like he said a lot of shit, but it was a lot of dancing around the real question was like, hey, like what really happened?" Pretty much what he said was, um, our team doctors they looked at him, didn't feel comfortable with him in his recovery or some shit like that, and they didn't like it, so he distrusted his doctors, and they pulled out of the Maxx Crosby trade. A couple hours later, they signed Trey Hendrickson. Now that's his thing in his own. Obviously, it sounded a little bit better coming from the GM because he's a GM. It's kind of his job to make it sound a lot better. But pretty much what Maxx Crosby said is a whole different fucking thing of what was actually conducted. Hearn, I'll let you speak on this. I know you actually watched the pod, so I mean, that's your boy. So I'd rather let you speak on
Hey,
what Maxx Crosby said. So
all
go
about the
ahead, man.
shield,
Take it
baby.
away. Yeah, take it
Um,
away, big dog.
yeah. So obviously, like Rigo said, the GM pretty much came out, and you could kind of tell like it was one of those things where he was like, "Shit, we got to get in front of this ASAP, try to control the
Yep.
narrative." Which shout
Yep.
out to them. That's what a good GM does. That's what a good organization does. They take control of the storyline and kind of try to put it where they wanted to. Um, So pretty much, Max talked about it on his podcast, The Rush. Shout out The Rush. One of the things he talked about was, obviously he was excited and like, he made that, the video or whatever that he did. And the first thing he like talks about is like he gets flown out. So like obviously they're like, hey, we're gonna fly you out. They fly him to Washington D.C., which I think to most people it's like, what the fuck? Like they're not gonna fly him to Baltimore. From what people have said, like flights from Vegas to there specifically, there's like not a whole lot of options. So I guess that was like the earliest they could get him out there was if they flew him to Washington D.C. Um, Unfortunately, Washington D.C. to Baltimore is a 2 hour drive. So they're like, yeah, like you're gonna have to sit in a car for a couple hours with your family and you're just surgically repaired knee.
Hey,
You know,
also commercial flight, by the way. It's not a
Yeah, it
PJ
wasn't a
like
PJ. It was a
yeah.
commercial flight. So, and obviously we don't know, like, obviously we're not going to know, like, which airline or anything like that. But I would assume it's first class and all that. So it's not like he's in fucking coach, but still kind
I
of a
mean, is
bad.
it really first class anymore? Like you're just in the
Eh,
front of the plane with a little bit of bigger leg room. Like
I
first
mean,
class
that's,
isn't first class what we think it is unless you're going to like
hey,
um
when you're a big guy, I mean, any extra leg room's a good day. So,
yeah.
but, back to it. So, he says that basically like he goes up there and basically by the time he gets there like there's really nothing to be done, so they kind of just put him up at the hotel and like he just kind of hung out whatever with his wife and his daughter. um so then he says the next day like they bring him in to like I don't know if he was brought in for physical. I think it was really just to kind of meet people, and then they brought him in like to like for a normal physical with just their team doctor. And he said like they had him do scans and all this shit, and he says like it was just he said that he felt weird. Like, he said that the energy was kind of weird because everyone was kind of like tiptoeing around him. And
Yeah.
keep in mind he hadn't talked to the GM or the head coach at any point. Like keep in mind he's in the building, like they're all there. He hasn't talked to any of these guys. So fast
Yeah.
forward a couple hours, like he went back to the hotel with his girl. He says they went and got lunch, and then he said his agent called them and was telling him like, oh, like it's the scans, like they're not too happy with what they're seeing, so they're gonna bring in like a bunch of other doctors. And basically, what they did is they brought in other doctors from all around, like not just within the area of Baltimore. Like they brought in other team doctors and his surgeon, and his surgeon like literally walked Max through exactly what he was telling the team doctors and kind of about his recovery process and all that. So, like I said, he's still up to this point. He has not talked to the head coach, has not talked to the GM. Um, so I think he says he's gonna go to dinner or something like that, and they're like, hey, like, come to the building. So he goes to the building, and at this point, he finally is like meeting up with the head coach. He says he hadn't seen the GM the whole time. He goes into the room, like the head coach's office. He shakes his hand. He says he looks to like the right, or like I don't know if it's a hall or how the office is, but he says he just like looks over and sees the GM there, and the GM kind of just doesn't really say anything, just kind of daps him up, and then he's like, "Yeah, come to my office." So him, the head coach, and the GM, they go into the GM's office, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, it's not looking good. We're gonna try to figure this out." But like, he doesn't tell him straight up like we're pulling out of the trade. He just tells him basically like they're gonna renegotiate because they'd feel like basically he wasn't worth what they paid. Um, and that's what a lot of the Ravens people, like according to Max, that's what they really said was like the trade was going to still go through, but it was just a matter of like they wanted to renegotiate what they were actually going to pay for him, which I think that's fucking crazy. I just wouldn't say anything to him. Like, yeah, like we're just, like I at least try to bullshit a little bit better than that. Like, um, so he says he went back and then his agent called him and was like, yeah, like, I think the Ravens are going to pull out. And then he said someone from the Ravens called them and was like, "No, we're gonna make this thing work. Like, you're gonna be a Raven." And then he said, literally like 10 minutes later, the Raiders put out like that the Ravens had pulled out, and and then the Ravens were like, "Yeah, what do you want to do? Like, if you pack up in an hour, we can fly you back." And that's what they did. I mean, he says that's what they did. He said they packed up and they were back in Vegas like within 4 or 5 hours after that, and he basically found out like everybody else that the Ravens pulled out. Like the Ravens never outright told him like, "Hey, we're not going to go through with the trade." Um, so yeah, it's kind of a long story, but if you really want to hear it clearly and like from the guy, like literally go on his on their podcast channel. It's literally The Rush, and it's like probably going to be one of the most viewed videos he has on there. Um,
Yeah.
because like it's a little bit more like everything. I'm just kind of just trying to run through like what happened. You'll actually get an understanding of like exactly what happened when and like kind of the timeline itself. Um, but I think it's a wild move. Like head coach and GM didn't say nothing to this guy for hours. Like
Yeah, I was listening to a bunch of other podcasts again because like obviously me and her and we don't play in the NFL. We really don't kind of know the full process as far as like hey like when a player gets traded, we just kind of see what's like shown on social media, right? Like for the most part, every player like a big name player gets treated pretty like top tier, like 10 out of 10. Like even if it's a B player, you still get treated 10 out of 10. You know, like you get a PJ flown out with your family.
yeah,
The team cars to go pick you up and then bring you up to the stadium, and right away there's already a lot of pictures. You know, like regardless, like the social media is blowing up on the team's page, right?
yeah,
So again, like this has been a big thing all week, so I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, listening to Colin Coward, and a bunch of other people just kind of giving their perspective of the whole Maxx Crosby thing, right? And all of the things that they had in common was like, and the former players even talked about it too. I think on the Speakeasy, I was just listening to him today or yesterday, as far as like how they were conducted when Shady McCoy got traded. He was like, dude, when I got fucking traded and like bro, like I was flown in a PJ, bro. Like I'm fucking meeting the head coaches right there in front of the office for me. Like and the GM, they're dabbing me up. Like those are like the first people that are coming to go see you and say hi to you, right? And like for Maxx Crosby, it's like, bro, like they just traded for you for like 2 first-round picks. Like
Yeah,
knowing that you just fucking got off surgery, like it's nothing new. Like it's just not a good look, even any way
it
that
was
you
just
try to spin it.
I was
Yeah.
just saying, it's just like the polar opposite. It was like almost as if he was a player, like a low caliber player that got traded for a seventh rounder. This feels like how you would be treated. Like if you're like a low level guy and you got traded for, like I said, a seventh round pick or something. This kind of feels like how it would be. Like, hey, we're gonna fly you in. What's convenient for us, and we'll see you when we see you. Like it didn't
Yeah.
he. And like I said, we don't really know, like, because the Ravens are never going to outright come out and say exactly how everything went down. Um, but like just listening to like him talk about it, like I, you gotta like people gotta understand, like this guy got traded for 2 first round picks. The franchise has never done this ever for any player, not even for
Mm-hmm.
one, let alone 2 first rounders, and for like no reception, no nothing, like no like I just find it crazy. Even if it like every trade is always held to a physical, like a player has to pass a physical. But I feel like with all the knowledge of the situation, like I feel like you had to have known that he wasn't going to be, like 100% to play tomorrow if they were going to play a game tomorrow. But
Yeah, and the other thing is too is like I wish I knew this player's name, but I honestly I don't remember. It was on the Colin Coward podcast. His co-host, he was speaking to a former player because again, I was listening to a bunch of people, different people's opinion, and this former player, I wish I remember his name. I'm sure if I look it up, I'll find it on so you guys don't think I'm making this up. This guy pretty much said like, "Hey, look." He played in the league in the 1988 or 87 or something like that until like the 90s, retired in 2001. Um, Pretty much what he said, his knee was busted. He got traded 3 different times. He failed physicals 3 different times, right? And it wasn't until he went with Mike Shanahan, and Mike Shanahan was like, "Hey, I like this player. I want this player. He's gonna pass this physical regardless, right?" And when he said that, it just kind of like, and mind you, this has happened in 1980, right? And obviously it's a different league now. A lot of things, doctors say this, doctors say that. It's a different way about going about things, right? However, knowing the Ravens knowing that Maxx Crosby just got off a major injury, is not going to be anything new to them. Like that's not surprising. It's like, hey, bro, we know what we're getting. We know what you're going through. So we know the physical is going to be what it is, right? Now, it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna sign you. It is what it is. You're gonna get healthier. You'll be ready by week 1 or week 2, whatever the case is.
yeah,
I'm not gonna go through and be like, hey, bro, nah, I'm not fun to sign you. Like teams sign guys knowing that they're hurt, regardless of how like the injury that they received, right? If they really want them, is pretty much what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
So the Ravens had buyer's remorse as far as being like, hey, dude, look, we know we traded you for all this, but knowing that Trey Hendrickson is still out there and we don't have to give up 2 first-round picks and maybe get the same type of player, that's what we're probably gonna lean forward. So like, let's just kind of get an scapegoat, be like, hey, dude, we saw some shit in your MRI. That's gonna be our excuse. Now let's give this shit back to the Raiders and let's get our 2 first-round picks back, and we're gonna sign Trey Hendrickson. That's pretty much what it is. That's like
yeah, and like and
point
the
blank clear.
reports
That's what happened.
and the reports too, like from the Ravens side of things, was like, oh, it wasn't like that we didn't believe he was going to be a good player this year. It was like 2-3 years down the line, which to me doesn't really make sense because he signed an extension last year, right? So when he signed his extension last year, it only gave him 2 extra years technically, and then there's like an opt out for the. It would be the contract that's going to on the contract he signed last year. It's third year, but it's really 4 total years, including obviously the last season. So like that just doesn't make sense to me that they were like, oh yeah, we had concerns about his 3rd year. It's like, well, you can opt out of it based on his contract. So I didn't really think that was
Yeah.
like a valid, like, that felt like they were like, oh, let's tell him this, and like hopefully everyone buys it and they'll get off our back about the whole like buyer's remorse thing. Um, but yeah, like it's very obvious it was buyer's remorse, and like obviously I think as a GM and like someone that probably wants to keep their job, he can't outright just be like, yeah, like we didn't feel like he was worth 2 first-round picks. Like we all can kind of
Yeah.
see that. Like they immediately, I think they felt like free agency was going to go a little bit different for them. And I'm not even talking about
Hmm.
like the Linderbaum. Like they're obviously he was like one of the price possessions of the free agency period. Um, but I feel like they thought they were going to get certain guys, whether it was on offense or defense, and obviously that didn't happen. And I think they quickly realized like, shit, we can't really afford to give away high end assets, which would be those 2 first-round picks, and so they kind of pivoted. Even though the GM came out and said like, oh, the original plan was uh Trey Hendrickson and Crosby. It's like I don't think it
Full of
was.
shit. Full of shit.
Just based on the way they treated Max, like Max's account of how everything transpired, and then other teams talking about how like there was this mystery team for Trey Hendrickson, and then just kind of how quickly they announced everything. It's just like too coincidental for me to like for my liking. I think um there was some obvious things going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think within time, obviously, like a free agency and like the draft and everything like that, people are gonna forget about this
Yeah,
until the season starts, until Max Crosby starts playing and he looks good or whatever the case is for him, and whatever the case is going to be for the Ravens. Just right now, obviously, it's not a good look for the Ravens organization, especially for the new head coach and the GM. You know, like his first time head coach
tough
and
look.
the G. Yeah, it's a bad look. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
around it. I think they fumbled the fact that um the way they treated Max Crosby, and I think obviously Max Crosby is a premier player. He's gonna talk about his experience as he did on the podcast. I'm sure he's gonna
Yeah.
go on a podcast tour because I'm sure everyone wants to ask him about that and their own opinions, and he's gonna tell his buddies and his treatment and
Well,
stuff like that.
I, I think the funniest part about it too is like we talked about this prior to him being traded. I think I think we specifically talked about how much the NFL was marketing Max prior to the whole new league year, and we're talking about how much like how many videos were being posted of him from the NFL page, and like it would just felt like so much hype for him as a player. Like not really hype, but like felt like the NFL was marketing the shit out of him because they knew what was coming down the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone knew what
Yeah,
was going to happen. Like he was obviously going to be traded. And it felt like such a like I said, a marketing ploy, like to just maximize, like, hey, this guy Max Crosby, like this is what he's done. Like even though he's been with the Raiders, like great player. And then it was I thought it was funny, like the second he gets traded, everyone's there's a crazy amount of content of him, people photoshopping like him in a Ravens jersey and like all these crazy videos. And then that reaction, and then when the trade got revoked or when the Ravens pulled out or however you want to call it, the amount of um I don't even know how to say it, but like I don't want to call it criticism, but like just the amount of people talking about like Crosby as if like he wasn't like as if he's not a good player, and then basically faulting him for like the knee, his him failing the physical. Like, and obviously I was one of those people. I thought it was just kind of one of those. I thought it was pretty obvious that he was going to fail a physical. So, people giving him shit about that. It's like kind of one of those things where, like you said, if a coach or a GM really wants a player, you're going to make it work. Like you're going to figure it
yeah.
out. You're not going to
Especially
just
when,
like,
like I said, other players are openly coming out like, "Hey, yeah, bro, like I was fucked up. I failed my physical," and the coach, straight up
yeah,
comes up to me and tells me like, "Hey, I'm gonna still pick you up, and I believe in you." You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Again, I think overall it was just buyer's remorse. Definitely not a good look for the Ravens organization,
yeah.
especially when you're kind of like in a rebuild mode and you can't afford to fuck this up because
That's what
obviously
that's the one
Go
other
ahead.
thing. Like it kind of felt like to me like they basically admitted like, hey, we don't think we're very close to the Super Bowl window that everyone has us pegged in. Because I think a lot of the times, like most of these teams, like when people talk about Super Bowl windows, it comes down to the quarterback. And so obviously Lamar's like, I think Lamar's probably one of the most marketed quarterbacks in the league, behind like Mahomes, obviously, and Josh Allen, and probably Burrow. I would
Yeah.
say like when you see clips of the NFL, Lamar's almost always on one of those. Um, so that's what I thought for the Ravens. It was kind of like them admitting like, hey, we're not very close to where we need to be to win a Super Bowl. Like we're not able to just give up first round picks because we think they're
Yeah.
going to be pretty valuable.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, man, I think that's enough about these Ravens, man. I feel like we've been
Yeah.
talking about them way too
Shout out
much, and
Joel. Hey Joel. Shout out to Joel. Ravens flock, baby.
yeah, whatever you said. I'm not gonna say nothing because I always get picked
Hey,
on when I fucking mention somebody or whatever. So um
yeah, you get. That's
yeah.
a weird thing with the Ravens and Rigo, man. Like Rigo gets trolled on. He just brings up anything Lamar Ravens related. He immediately gets trolled on, and he gets told he's wrong. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna avoid saying anything.
Fair enough.
But yeah, let's move forward, man. I think
So
overall this week there wasn't any other
I think the big,
major.
I'll say the big one this week was the Jaylen Waddle trade. He got traded
Oh yeah.
to OVO's Broncos, and obviously it was a pretty significant price. I believe it was a first round, a third round, and a fifth round, and then I think the Broncos got Jaylen Waddle, and I think like a fifth rounder or a third rounder back. Um, I mean, what's your first thoughts with the trade? Like let's talk. I mean, Jaylen Waddle fitting in with the Broncos. How do you like that fit?
Um Hold on, sorry. I feel like a sneeze is coming, so give me a second.
He sneezes like 8 times in a row, so that's why he had to like
Yeah,
kind of
so
take the step back. Um,
you do, I do. Yeah, the trade it wasn't surprising for me because obviously it's
yeah,
kind of known that the Dolphins were obviously in a rebuild mode too.
rebuilt. Yeah,
For me, I think they kind of like set Malik Willis up in the as far as like, dude, you just picked up a quarterback. I know it's kind of like a teaser, like, hey, let's just see what we got in him and like hope it works out. But at
yeah,
the same time, you're not giving this guy much like leg room to show you what he can do when you literally sent the whole team away, right? Um, I like Waddle when he's healthy. I think that's his biggest issue is that he can't stay healthy in the whole season. I think I did kind of mention this to you offline. Was like he's pretty good from like maybe I would even say week 1. I would say from like week 3 to like 7, because like that's when he's healthy, and then he's hurt in the beginning of the season, or like right after like the third play of the game he gets hurt. He's out for like 3 games, comes back, plays pretty good, and then he gets hurt again. Um, so like the fact that the Denver picked him up, that's cool. Like I mean, you got Bo Nix, whatever. It looks good. It makes you definitely improves your team. I'm not saying that it makes them worse or whatever. It definitely makes them better. However, Waddle is not a receiver you can rely on for all 18 games of the season because he's not going to play all 18. So I mean, it was cool. If honestly, if I had to grade the pick, I would say like a C plus, and that's just Waddle's health. Um,
yeah,
Now if Waddle was healthy all season, he can manage to stay healthy. I'd say this is pretty much like a minus pickup for the Denver, and far as like I think it's an F for Miami because I would love to see Malik Willis like tear it up in Miami. Um Again, I haven't seen much of him since Tennessee or whatever, and backed up was a backup for Jordan Love at the Packers. But from what the head coach now for the Dolphins is saying, like, dude, this guy was fucking tearing it up in the practice field and stuff like that. So I mean, I've been hearing nothing but good things. So yeah, man. I mean, I wouldn't say nothing too much crazy to talk about that, but what do you think about the trade?
yeah. I think the trade. It's kind of very reminiscent to me of when the Broncos traded for Emmanuel Sanders. Like and they're both kind of the same player. Like they're both used as a deep vertical threat guy, speedster. They both had health issues going in. Um, Not necessarily. I think Waddle's is a lot worse than Emmanuel Sanders' issues were. But like I said, like it was kind of similar. Like those were guys that they were easily missing a couple games a year, kind of like clockwork. Um, and I think to me, I think they overpaid, but it kind of seems like that's a trend this year for these receivers. Like we talked about. Oh,
Damn,
sorry
somebody's
guys.
tired already.
I'm an old guy. It's tough. Um,
30, man.
but um, it's very reminiscent of like the Bills overpaying for DJ Moore. Like I didn't think DJ Moore was worth a second round pick. But the Bills felt otherwise, and that's what I kind of feel like here. I feel like Waddle's not really worth a first round pick, but given that it is a later first rounder, it's not like it's the top 10 pick. I think it's pick 30. Um, Obviously the Broncos felt pretty comfortable giving it away. Um, but yeah, I think to me, and then on the Dolphins side of things, I feel like they're kind of waving the white flag already. Like, hey, like Malik is not a franchise quarterback for us. He's the bridge
Yeah.
quarterback, and he'll be the quarterback for the short term, but he's definitely not the guy. Like, he's not the guy. I fully believe, and this could be a hot take, but I fully think now, like, I could see the Dolphins taking Ty Simpson with that at 30 and letting him just sit behind Malik Willis. I don't know if offensively, obviously, I don't know if that's going to fit, but like the Dolphins to me are going to be a team to look out for when it comes to like the young, like super young quarterbacks that are in the draft. That they feel like, hey, this guy can sit for a couple years and we'll be fine. Because like I said, it kind of feels like they just kind of not quit on Malik Willis, but it kind of just feels like, hey, we know you're not going to be the answer for this position long term. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so now looking back on it, like what I just said, I stand by what I just said about it, like as far as like what I would grade it. But I did say like I like the Malik Willis pickup 100%. Like I like it. It's
agreed. Yeah.
there's nothing like that's bad about it. Like it's cool. I like it. I'm comfortable with it. I can sleep at night and be like, hey dude, we did a good thing, right? However,
hmm
I'm like, yo, you got a rookie quarterback that has the potential to be a star in Q Universe. I like Q Ewers coming out of Texas. I think he has a lot of potential. Um, and I would have just loved to see him get the opportunity to go and ball out and just kind of build around him. I know it's a new head coach, and obviously the new head coach wants his own guy, wants to do his thing on his own, right?
Yeah.
However, I'm like, dude, you don't know what you have in this guy, right? In Q Ewers, the quarterback class this year is really you got two guys, and that's pretty much
If
it.
that.
And
Yeah.
yeah, right. So if I was the Dolphins, right? I mean, yeah, trade Jaylen Waddle, like whatever. Looking back on it, I still think it's a bad move. But however, you stack the first round picks, right? But
Yeah.
it's what you do with your picks is what's important. You either use your pick to go out and go get a premier wide receiver in somebody else or whatever, like an AJ Brown or something like that. A guy that um, that's a guaranteed one, right? And it's crazy to say people are like, dude, you already have Jaylen Waddle. What are you talking about, right? Again, it isn't that I don't think Waddle is a good wide receiver. It's the health concerns that I have. Get
Yeah.
rid of him, sure, and go get
He's just not
another. Get a
he's just not
yeah.
consistently playing. So it's hard for anyone to be like, oh man, that's a big loss because when he's on the field, yes, it's a huge loss. But that's the thing is like let's say he's on the field
He's rarely on the
60% of the
field.
time. Yeah, exactly. Like, um,
So that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
you're
Like
you're
it's
1,000% right with the picks thing. Like that's the one thing. Like I laugh sometimes when Niner fans talk about the Trey Lance trade because they're like, oh, like some of them, some will say like they got fleeced, and I think it's more because Trey Lance didn't work out more than what they gave up. But like you
yeah.
look at the first round picks they gave up, I don't think any of those guys turned out. Like I don't think any of the guys that they're the pick that they gave away, none of those guys turned into anybody special. So
It's crazy. Waddle is one of those picks, and look at
that's what
him.
I was gonna say. I think he might. That's what I thought. I thought he was in that same one of those classes. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but besides him, though, like I don't think there's any of those guys that you guys traded. Those picks that you traded really amounted to
yeah.
anything.
None of them are on
So,
the Dolphins anymore. We'll just put it at that.
so
bro. None of
Yeah.
them on the
So
Dolphins team right now.
I mean that's what it comes down to. Like same thing like with the Raiders. When the Raiders got the first rounders for Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack, you know, they had 3 first-round picks that year. Only one guy turned out to be anything, and the guy's not on the team anymore. Josh Jacobs, he's not on the team, and the other 2 guys like Clelin Ferrell, you know, he fucking God goes to the movies before he plays. That's horrible. He was the number 4 pick in the draft, and like that tells you I could talk about that guy for fucking 20, 30 minutes. But to
Yeah.
Rico's point, right? Like when you trade for first rounders or you give away first round picks, you better know what the fuck you're doing because more often than not, the player that the team is getting for that first round pick is a lot better than what you're going to get in the rookie class. Like when you for people like to understand that, it'd be like, you know, if I traded a first round pick for Josh Allen, is Josh Allen going to be the best player in this draft class if he was coming out of the draft? The answer would be yes. Right. So that's how you have to look at it is the player that team's getting. So like the Broncos, is Jaylen Waddle going to be better than anybody they could pick at pick 30? I would probably say yes. Right. Unless
Yeah.
some stud falls to them, which you're at that point, you're just kind of wishing and hoping for something good to happen, which, you know, it's just not going to happen
Yeah.
realistically. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, obviously we don't really know what they're gonna do, and you either have picks or you don't have picks. You know, it's kind of like ammo, as far as like
Yeah,
being able to maneuver through the draft or, go out and try to trade for a guy giving away first round picks. It was funny because I didn't really understand that concept. I was more like, yo, like let's stack first round picks and let's see what we can do, right? Like we like a lot of guys. However, um, when you look at the draft, and I feel like, again, I started to catch more on to this, and like as far as like other head coaches and stuff like that, especially like the Rams. I think you kind of learn at what the Rams are doing, right? It's like,
yeah,
okay, are we gonna bet on a guy in the first round to be something great, or do we just go get a premier player, knowing what we're already gonna get? Like it's
exactly.
guaranteed, we know what's gonna happen, and we're comfortable with that instead of betting on some rookie, thinking that he's gonna be good or he's gonna be shit in the NFL, right? Um,
Yeah,
and I think that's what a lot of teams do, kinda. But the Rams are really, really good at that. Like, Trent McDuffie was a big thing. Like, hey, we need a
yeah,
corner. We're not going to go in the draft and go get one. Fuck these picks. Let's just go get Trent McDuffie, sign him to a big contract,
yeah.
and we know we're comfortable with that, right? And
Mhm.
again, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say with the Dolphins. Is like, sure, you can have this first round pick for Waddle. It is what it is. But what are you gonna do with the first round pick? Like, is there somebody really in the draft that's gonna be better than Waddle, or do you just go and try to get a defensive guy or another offensive guy from a different team that's guaranteed? Um, to Hearn's point too about the DJ Moore trade, I think they did give up a lot, 100%. I don't like how much they gave up for DJ Moore. However,
That feels like a bargain
unlike
now compared to that trade.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like unlike Jaden Waddle, DJ Moore is a healthy player, right? He's a guy that that's going to be on the field because he doesn't have any like time off the field. Like he's pretty consistent about being on the field. Now, is he a Jaden Waddle type of caliber player? I wouldn't say so. I think Waddle's still better at the wide receiver position than DJ Moore slightly. It isn't nothing too crazy, but I think Waddle is slightly better. But DJ Moore's always on the field and he's healthy. So now, are you gonna give up more for a consistent, healthy guy that's a little less than Waddle? Yeah, I would. So it's kind of picking your poison.
hmm
But again, it's just knowing what you're gonna get from these guys and what you're willing to give up.
yeah,
But yeah, that's just, I guess, kind of how it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all I got about the Denver and
yeah,
Miami. We kind of went on a little spiel there.
yep, definitely. Um, Now obviously Rigo he just mentioned at the start of the pod, you know, we're not just football guys. I mean, obviously it's what we talk about a lot, but you know, we like to dibble and dabble here and there. And obviously there was a pretty big trailer that just came out, I think 2 days ago or yesterday. Now
Yeah.
a brief PSA for everybody. Rigo is not the biggest Spider-Man fan. So when we're gonna talk about this
No, I'm not.
trailer in a second, like Rigo is, don't be surprised when Rigo's not like glazing the trailer. I won't either. I didn't think it was all that great of a trailer. I thought it showed some things, which is good, but it didn't show everything. So I can appreciate that from Marvel. Um, but yeah, the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer release dropped.
So
Rigo,
yeah, so
go
it's kind
ahead,
of
take
funny
it away.
because Hearn is 100% right. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Man. However, um, what's his name? Tom Holland. Like, I do like him as a Spider-Man. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
hold you. I think he's pretty good as a Spider-Man. He plays the character pretty well. I like him better than the Spider-Man before him. The one that played in Hacksaw Ridge, whatever his fucking name is.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. I do like Tom Holland. I think he's pretty
Better.
good. Um,
Yeah.
again, I'm not a big Spider-Man guy. I love Iron Man. I love everything about Iron Man. He's great. I love his fucking movies. Now, on the contrary, I did really like this trailer. I did. I do. I'm not gonna
Wow,
hold you. I watched the trailer and I'm like, yo, okay, I'm
that's
definitely gonna
impressive.
go opening day Thursday night to go watch Spider-Man.
Wow.
Because it gave me a lot of nostalgia from the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah, so it gave me a lot of like a nostalgia in that essence. Obviously, there are two different Spider-Mans. It's obviously tweaked a bit or whatever. Marvel's doing whatever they're doing. However, I like watched it and I was like, yo, this shit low key is gonna look pretty fucking good. And that's very surprising because
That's
like
high
Hearn said,
praise. That's high praise for
I
Rigo.
don't like Spider-Mans and I don't like the way the recent ones have come out. Because I thought they were kind of bad, but this one follows the comics. So I'm pretty, and they had fucking Banner, which I still don't like the Hulk. I'm not gonna hold you. I think Hulk's my least favorite Marvel character, but that the actor plays Hulk pretty well, and it pisses me off. But um, I don't know. I like it. I like the trailer. I can't say enough. If honestly, if I had to rate the trailer, I would say it's a solid like 7.6,
Wow.
7.7 of a
That's a
trailer.
huge score for Rigo,
Yeah.
boys.
So
That's a huge score.
hopefully the movie's like an 8.5. Like I have really high
Wow.
hopes on this one because I liked it. I'm not gonna hold you. Now
Yeah, well, clearly, yeah.
now
7.7 is a huge
is
score
it
for
gonna be
Rigo.
good? Is the question. I don't fucking know. I
I,
really hope so though. But what do you think of the trailer?
I thought it was a good trailer, and I agree. It gave me, it was, I think the part that really held the other movies back, it was like Spider-Man is a very regional character, and he's got a lot of regional stories. So like he's not going outside of New York City a whole lot. And obviously with the first three with Tom Holland, it was like fucking like he was going all over the place. Like the first one
I
he
don't
was
think
in,
Marvel knew what they were
dude.
doing.
The first one it was New York, Washington D.C. The second one I think he was in Europe or some shit. And then the third
Hmm.
one it was like a fucking it was whatchamacallit. It was fuck. I guess it was universal because
Mis-
like obviously there's all kinds of shit going on with the timeline, right? So it felt like
yeah.
more like those ones felt more they were designed to help the bigger story and the bigger movies of like the Avengers and shit like that more than hey these are Spider-Man movies and these are Spider-Man, you know what I mean, like Spider-Man storylines. This felt like a throwback, like you said, kind of like the first one. Like we're in New York City, obviously he's kind of starting over, um, and obviously there was some character like some very Spider-Man characters obviously throughout. There was Scorpion. We saw a little Punisher in there. There's
Oh yeah, I did see Punisher. That's what I do. Like, dude, Punisher, badass, bro. Like,
yeah.
dude, that
Daredevil's
whatever. I forgot.
Daredevil's obviously going to be involved at some point because he was involved obviously in the last one. So like, there's obviously like I said, more regional characters, kind of more grounded story, and it's not really. Well, we don't
It's
know
like
yet, but
all over the place. Like how
as of
Marvel.
now, as of now, it
Yeah,
has no implications on the overarching story of Doctor Doom and all that stuff that's going to be going on, which is great. I like that for this. Um, but with all that being said, all the positives I just laid out. Marvel's got a lot of work to do. We talked about this, I think,
Yes.
last year. They got a
Dude, do
lot of
they
work to do.
fucking ever. I
So,
think Marvel was just in a shambles of like, dude, we have so many different arcs going on. Like, yo, let's do this movie. Let's do this movie. Let's just see if
yeah,
this is gonna hit or not, whatever, right? Because
yeah.
I think Marvel is one of in a way too, like it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I think it's more bad because I think Marvel tries to create movies in their own way, right? Like, and I mean that by like, hey, whatever is going on in the world, let's try to like push that narrative into our
It just,
movies
I
and
was
like
just
let's yeah
saying, I was gonna say like I feel like what happened was because the original everything about Marvel originally to the first Avengers was perfect. Like each movie was about a main character that everybody knew, right? They had like their intro movie essentially, or like a couple movies before we got to Avengers, and then it was kind of like okay, we can kind of repeat the formula again, so they did it again before the second Avenger movie. And then they're like, we're kind of running out of character, like main character
yeah
storylines, boys. So then they were like, and then I think around that time too, Guardians of the Galaxy kind of popped off, and
dude, love them.
they saw,
Star Lord
which
is the boy.
it's a great series of movies. I won't deny that. But the problem is like they were never like a featured group in Marvel Comics. And so they saw the success of that and they're like, okay, what other obscure characters can we bring in and make movies about and make them feel as important as the original group of Avengers, which was never going to happen. So then we saw these Ant-Man movies and just all kinds of like Shang-Chi and like all these other movies and series. And they just they just overdid everything. They pulled all these characters because they thought, hey, we're going to make money. And then you add the Disney Plus stuff and I think they just completely just saturated their market with a bunch of shit basically. And then by the time the Endgame and Infinity War happened, they're like, "Fuck, what do we have left?" Because obviously big things happen in all these movies, so they can't keep running it back with RDJ and Chris Evans because those guys are getting
Yeah.
paid like $50 million to do a movie, which you're not
You know
going to
how
do
I
that.
look at it? Like honestly, if I had to like put it out there, it's like okay, when you go get ice cream, right? Like
Yeah,
us as an adults, like we don't want nothing crazy. I mean, I won't speak for every adult, right? I'm just gonna speak for
most of the
myself.
time you don't want anything
M-
crazy, correct?
Like me
Yeah,
personally, when I go to the ice cream, right, and then, let's just say like when I used to take my nieces, right, the kids love color, kids
yep.
love different things, and they're like, yo, the
Wild and
more the
reckless.
better. More
Yep.
more and better is for the kids, right? And I do understand like Marvel's it is like a kids movie, right? But
Yeah.
their demographic is like I would say 50% kids and 50% adults, right? Because you got a lot of
Yeah.
Disney fucking adults out there, and as an adult, you want to like what the kids are watching because you're gonna watch it too, right? And so
Yeah.
you go to the ice cream, you're taking your kid, and like how I used to take my nieces, right? I know that I don't like anything too crazy, so I'm probably gonna get some vanilla ice cream, and
Crazy, crazy move.
and call it a day, or butter pecan or strawberry, right? And I'm gonna put that in a cup because I don't like the cone and shit because you got to eat the cone to get soggy or whatever, right? Now
Yeah.
my nieces, on the other hand, they're gonna be like, hey, look, deal, I want the fucking rainbow ice cream, I want the damn sprinkles, I want the fucking um the
Yeah.
nuts on it with the cherry and the bubble gum on top of it. They want all this crazy shit, right? Now it might look cool, but when they start to eat it, they're like, dude, this is way too much. I don't like it. I need something simple and I want something plain. And now this is what I how I feel Marvel moved. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
they had something simple, they were creating something good, and it was
Yeah.
good. Everyone liked it because no one not it's hard to not like plain vanilla, right? Either depending on where the vanilla you're getting it from, you know. But it's the same thing. You know what you're getting, right? Now, when you
Yeah.
start to add the fucking sprinkles, the cherries, the nuts, and all this crazy shit, you're like,
Yeah.
dude, this is way too fucking much. You guys just need to calm it the fuck down. Let's
Yeah.
zone in here and let's just get the movies right. And again, that's what I feel like Marvel did. And
Yeah.
in this
100%.
trailer, it made me feel like, yo, I'm eating fucking vanilla ice cream again. Like it has that potential. And I'm really hoping it's good because that's one step forward to getting Marvel back on track for these other arcs to start
Yes.
coming through. Like Punisher, dude. I love Punisher. That would be a fucking like a spin-off movie or whatever. I think they do have it on Disney Plus though, right?
Yeah,
Already.
he has 2 seasons worth of like a series. Like he already has a series with 2 seasons worth, and
Okay, that's what I
I
thought.
thought I thought it was really good. So yeah, I'd
Yeah,
love to get what's the actor's name? John Bernthal. I
yeah.
think that's how you say it. Yeah, I
I
think his
don't
version
know.
of Punisher is great. I think like he's an awesome Punisher. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's so I'm not gonna give the trailer 7.7. I think that's kind of wild,
Yeah,
and
I
honestly,
like it, bro. Just fire.
it's kind of setting us up for failure because if the movie fucking bombs, that's gonna be a tough look. But I'm gonna give the trailer 6.2. I think it's better than average, so it's not gonna be a 5. Um, but I am setting the bar a little low on purpose, just so we're balanced out a little bit. Um, I'm really
Yeah.
surprised that Rigo scored, to be honest, because I know how he feels about the character itself, like overall. So for him to have like that really tells me that the trailer really stuck out to him in a positive way. So really interested to see that. I think it comes out over the summer, right?
Yeah. Again, like there are so many things that I did like about it, and obviously, again, kind of like what a little said a little earlier is like Marvel has this thing where like whatever's happening in the world, they try to influence into their movies,
Yeah,
and
true.
that's one thing I didn't see in the trailer. Obviously, there's a
So
trailer.
far,
Right?
yeah,
We haven't watched the movie, and there's no other trailer out. But
yeah.
that for me is like a bonus because it's like, dude, I just want to watch a movie. I want to go there. I want to have a good time, and I'm there to enjoy the time of watching the movie. Right? I don't need
Mhm.
I'm there to escape from whatever else is going on. I don't need y'all to start putting shit in here that I already go through on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool so far. But again, like Hearn said, I should have lowered it, had a lower score, but I think I just got too excited and been like, "Yo, dude,
Yeah,
Punisher, the Hulk,
you can't change
yeah."
the score now,
I'm
so
not gonna change it, and I hopefully the
yeah.
score goes up because that means when I watch the movie or watch a different trailer, it's
That's
like,
gonna
oh
be
shit,
you're gonna be like, dude,
it's
I
gonna be
underrate like yeah, I'd love to come out of that movie and be like, hey Rigo, I completely underestimated the movie. This shit was
yeah.
fucking gas. And yeah, I should have rated it like 8.3, but um yeah, I
Yo, yeah,
mean
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be good.
What I was gonna say. Okay, so we're done talking about Marvel, right? Because I'm too excited to talk about this next trailer. Are we done with
Yeah.
Marvel?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Now the next fucking trailer. Let me tell you, my ranking is way different from Spider Man, right? It is fucking Dune 3. Man, now let me fucking tell you, and I didn't even know they were coming out with the trailer because Hearns is usually the one that's like, hey dude, trailer's coming out, or he'll send me some
Yeah,
shit like, hey, watch the
that was a
trailer.
shocker to me too. Yeah.
And so when it dropped and I seen it, I'm like, yo, there's no way this shit's real, right? So I look at it, whatever. I watch the trailer. It's fucking Dune 3. I watched that
Yeah.
trailer and I'm like, there is no fucking way. I will say the one thing I am pissed about is that it comes out in fucking December. That's the only negative thing I have about that trailer. Other than
Yeah.
that, that fucking movie, that trailer is a
Looks
9 for
good.
me. It looks fucking phenomenal.
I had
Fucking
8.8, so yeah, I agree. We're in the same
Zendaya
ballpark.
and fucking Timothy Chalamet, yo, they're
Chemistry's
fucking
crazy.
they're
Yeah,
killing it. And
yeah,
I'm super excited because there's a character that was Jason Momoa and he died in the first one.
yeah.
He has like a little fucking thing that he shows up in. So
Hmm.
there's too many things to like about this fucking trailer, too many things to like about Dune. I don't want to
Yeah,
keep gassing it up because again, I feel like when we start to do that and another trailer might come out or we watch the movie, I'm like, dude, fuck. But it's kind
yeah,
of hard to say that when you have two bangers of a movie. Like the first one was fucking obviously good, right? And then
yeah,
there's like we're in our heads are like, dude, there's no way they can do it again with the second one. Or it's like, it's either gonna be less or it's gonna be the same. For
yeah.
some reason, you watch that second one and you're like, dude, I don't know which one's better because
I think I would say I
I
think
think they're both
personally
good.
I think yeah I agree. I think they're both good. I think the second one is better than the first, and it's not
Hmm.
really because the first one was bad. It was just the first one had to do a lot of character building and like getting to know who these people are and just kind of like giving you like context clues about each character. Like obviously, Paul and everybody and just all the
Paul
main characters that
Atreides.
like you have to. They're basically giving all the background information, like why the planet's being harvested and all this stuff. So it is a little slow in the beginning of that movie, and I think that's where a lot of people kind of feel like, like it's kind of a letdown. But I mean, fuck, like I'd say after about half hour, the rest of the movie is fucking fantastic. the
Dude,
first one.
it's great. I could watch it all over again. And
And I think the
it's funny
second
too.
one, go ahead.
I was gonna say like it's funny because like obviously when I first seen Dune, I didn't know it was like a book or whatever. Like there was other, it was like an actual storyline. Like when Star Wars came out,
Yeah,
like in the early '60s or the '50s or whatever.
yeah,
Because my buddy that I worked with, he told me about it. He actually like read all the books, and he kind of told me like the breakdown of the storyline and like how Paul Atreides becomes who he is and all this stuff. And
yeah.
like knowing all that information and then watching the trailer and the movie and the second one that came out, I'm like, dude, this makes so much sense because I don't know if I should spoil it now, like in the book, but
I think
should
maybe
I
we
or
should.
should I not?
I think maybe we should hold off until like we get
Okay.
closer to December, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to remind us to talk about this late. Maybe
Yeah,
not in
but
December, but maybe in a couple weeks. Like maybe if they release another trailer, we can spoil it then.
yeah,
Um,
because like if
but
people know about the books and like you watch the movies, then you kind of understand it a little bit more better. Because again, when my buddy told me about it, I was like, "There's no way that he does this." And then when I watched the trailer, I'm like, "Holy shit, it makes fucking sense now." Even when I
actually,
watched the
the
second one, I was pretty
I
good.
actually feel like the books are a little bit more. It actually makes everything a little bit more creepier because like there's certain things that happen in the books that like it's obviously hard for them to portray in a movie because just realistically it doesn't really make sense for them. Like the goal for them is obviously to make money, so
Okay,
they had to like rearrange certain things. Um, but
yeah.
yeah,
I will say this though. I will say this because I think this is a kind of an obvious one. It's gonna be a small spoiler, but I think it's kind of obvious. Obviously, Zendaya and Timothy Chalamet, they have kids, right? And I will
yes,
say this: one of the kids is no longer gonna be a human. That's all I'm gonna say because in the book, the kid does the son. I'm just gonna say it's the son. The son does something to not be human, and it's fucking crazy. So, um, I'm looking to see that in the movie if this is when it comes out or not. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I love the trailer. I'm super excited for the Dune. Um,
that's
and yeah,
actually a
man.
little concern. I will tell people. I'm going to tell everybody now. It's a little concerning that he has inside knowledge. Like obviously, I know a little bit about the books too, but it is a little concerning because now he's going to have these certain expectations because of what he knows about the book, and if they're not in the movie, he's going to hold it against the movie now because they're withholding shit. So just be forewarned that if he comes out and he says it's an L or it's a bust, that's probably wise because he knows there's like I said, there's certain things in the books. Like I could talk about like from the second movie. It's like specifically like the mom like when she's pregnant. There's actual like in the book. There's actual like moments where her fucking the fucking fetus is talking to her like in her brain like and they're having like fucking full on conversation. So and obviously they
Yeah, the
didn't show that
books
in the
are
movie.
yeah,
So
like you
that
said, the books are
that's why I
way
said the
more
books are.
detailed.
There's a lot of like crazy shit that happens that they just can't put in a movie because either a, people would be like, "What the fuck," and they'd be so turned off that they'd be like, "Don't go to watch the movie," or
Yeah,
two, they don't think it's just like I mean, it's a long movie as it is. Was it 3 hours each movie?
it's good. I don't give a fuck how
Yeah,
these movies
no,
can
I
be three
agree,
and a half
but
hours
I'm
long.
just
Like
saying,
I
I,
want it to be that long.
no, I was just gonna say like but like if they put everything from the books, like it's gonna be a 5 hour movie. Like no one's gonna watch that. I'm sorry, I don't give a shit
Dude,
how good it is. No one's gonna sit and watch a 5 hour movie. Stop.
you put yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like I think I have a cap limit of like 3 hours and like 30
Yeah,
minutes, 3.5
yeah,
hours.
exactly.
That's my cap limit. Um,
Yeah.
Anything more than that, I'm like, yo, like, dude, like,
Yeah,
hey, man, is this movie gonna finish already? Like, fuck no, I'm not watching
I
that
can
shit.
tell a quick story time like about that. Rigo and I one day
Uh,
we went to go. Was it Endgame or Infinity War? I don't remember. Was it Infinity War?
I don't remember, bro. I'm not gonna
It
hold
was
you.
one of those two. It was either Infinity War or Endgame. But we decided, hey, let's go watch it opening night because why not? So we went. We decided.
Yo,
Now
we were super pumped,
we were pumped.
super
That's how
pumped.
pumped we were. Like because I was coming. I think I was getting out of work and I had to go pick you up or vice versa. And
Yeah,
we were so pumped for the movie because I was like, dude, hey, Rigo, it's like a 3 4 hour movie. You really want to go opening night? He's like, yes, we got to go. And I'm like,
because we
fuck it.
had to
Like,
be the first ones to like me.
yeah,
Like I said, me and Hearn were big movie fanatics. Where we're like, dude, we
hundred
gotta be the
percent.
first ones. We gotta talk about it and go over
Yeah,
it. Like it's a whole thing. And I obviously there's one of those things I miss a lot. Like being with Hearn in the same
yeah,
state. Like that was just our thing.
yeah,
But yeah,
for
go on.
sure.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck it, like, why not?" So, and obviously everyone knows when the movie time, like for this example, is 9:30. Now we all know it says 9:30, but it's really like closer to 10 minutes. It's usually 10 o'clock, like it's half hour after whatever the
It's
time
like
is, because
10,
the
10:15.
trailers and
Yeah.
all kinds of all the bullshit that's got to go on. So we said 9:30. We get there. Movie probably starts around 10. And like I said, it's either Infinity War or Endgame, so it's a 3-ish hour movie. It's pretty close. We get out the movie. It's like 1 o'clock,
Late
and
as
I'm like,
fuck.
said Rigo, we made a mistake, dude. Like we were like, I think I had work that day too, so I was fucking
Yeah.
gassed. I was gassed. I was ready to go to bed. And then the movie itself, because obviously there's so much shit going on, and it's 3 hours long, and you're trying to like just stay locked in on it. And I mean, so yeah, we learned our lesson that day. I haven't done it since. I don't know if Rigo has since, but like
No,
I
I don't do any
refuse.
late movies, bro. I'm
Will
going
not
next
do a
day
late
type shit.
movie if it's more than 2 hours. That's not gonna happen anymore.
Yeah.
Because that fucking drive home was brutal, and Rigo is a notorious
Yes.
deserter
Guilty.
when it
Guilty as
comes
charged.
when
Guilty
it
as
comes
charged.
when it comes to anything out of town and it's more than 40-minute drive. You can almost lock that he will fall asleep on you or he'll go quiet on you.
Guilty.
Uh, and yeah, that was a fucking brutal car ride home. It was tough.
It's
So yeah, I
fucked
learned
up
my
too.
lesson.
Yeah, people are gonna like if they've gone this far into the pod and they hear this part, they're like, dude, Rio's a piece of shit. He's a real fucked up. How the fuck could you let him sleep or whatever? Look, I don't do it on purpose. I swear to God, I
Yeah,
don't.
that is
What
fair.
happens? What happens is like we're talking, we're vibing. I'm like, yo, I'm so locked in. It's gonna be great, right? And I would say like this is like how the Oakland games were when we would go up. Like, dude, we're drinking,
I was
having
gonna
a
say
great fucking time.
I was just gonna say the games I do like looking back, I do think you deserve more of a pass because like for reference, so like when Rigo and I would go to the baseball games, we'd tailgate, and our tailgate was like basically fucking like 4 to 5 tall cans, like
Yo,
drink them as
was
fast as you
that?
can. And so like usually what would happen is I'd buy a 3 pack and then he would buy like his I think at the time it was like his Mike's Hards or his like
Oh yeah, it was definitely my cards, the
Mike
purple
Hards
ones.
and his
So gas.
and Angry Orchards and shit. So like we would
Mm-hmm.
fucking like like we'd get there and like usually, I'm like for baseball, I'm not a big to me it's not a tailgate sport. So like to me it's kind of pull up 20 to 30 minutes before like first pitch, drink as fast as you can, then get into the game.
Yeah.
Um and so yeah, that's what we do. We'd fucking slam tall cans and be like, all right, let's go. We'd go in and then we'd buy like two more beers each. And so like by the time we're going home, Rigo's probably had like 12 to 14 alcoholic beverages. So and then he will stop, right? So, and obviously I would think most people that have drank before, like when you stop drinking over a long period of time and you really drank, you get real tired real fast. So this guy would be
Fuck
out.
yeah.
This guy would be asleep. I'd say maybe 20 minutes. And like by the time we hit the freeway, he's out. Like it's a
Yeah,
solo
100%.
mission after
Like a
that.
fucking baby, dude. Call me what you
Yeah.
want. I was fucking,
So
and I'd wake up. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and like I'd be like around the corner, like it's crazy. I would get to like a street or two away from this guy's house. All of a sudden, he's fucking. Oh, what's up? Where we at? What we doing?
Oh,
And
that
it's
was a
like,
good
dude,
ride. I was awake the whole time.
yeah. And it's like, dude, like you couldn't have gotten up any earlier to help me out. Like,
Like I said, I do feel bad every time it happens. I just
but
cannot
though
help it. Like,
I was
yeah,
just
go
saying,
ahead.
like, just to reaffirm, like those ones, he does get an exception to those. The fucking movie ones are there's no exception for those. That's
Nah,
fucked
nah,
up.
I'll take it.
Those are fucked
Yeah,
up.
I'm telling you, dude, it's like a fuck. I'm like a cat, bro. Like when you hold a cat by its neck, they go limp and shit. Dude, I like literally, like you can be like, yo, I'm gonna give you $1,000 if you could just stay away from this car ride. It's a half an hour car ride back home. I'm like, yo, fuck yeah. I'm not earning that money because I pass out like within 20,
Yeah.
25 minutes. And I don't know why the fuck I'm telling you, I'm like a fucking cat. I'll be like, yeah, I'm up. Knock the fuck
I was
out
gonna
and I'll
say
wake up later.
I was gonna ask if you still do that, but I feel like you probably drive more often than not. So you probably obviously that's not happening anymore, right?
No, so okay, so fun fact about this, right? And I think I'm getting my karma back, right? Because when I was I want to say I'm gonna use this as an example because it's the most recent one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I was driving across fucking state from El Paso over here to Anchorage and shit. That was like a week-long drive, right? And again, like my wife's like, "Yo, I'm gonna help you out and drive, whatever." My whole thing was like, "Yo, I'm gonna drive. Like, don't worry about it. Just she's taking care of the dog and stuff, and like helping out with the snacks or whatever, right? Like, just don't worry about it. I got the drive." And also because she never driven a U-Haul with the trailer and stuff, so it's like a lot of shit, right?
Yeah.
So for people that never done it, but my whole thing was like, don't worry about it. I got it, dude. My wife passed out within half an hour for like 6 hours, or like not even 6 hours, like 3 or 4 hours
See,
of the drive.
that's brutal.
She and like I didn't mind it because I drive in silence, and people are gonna be like, dude, that's fucking weird. I don't mind it. I like me. It's like a clarity thing, like where like I'm totally fine. I'm just driving straightforward and admiring the views and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But she would pass out. I shit you not. She would pass out for like 90% of the drive. She would wake up for like 30 minutes, talk to me here
That's
and there. She would be on her iPad
crazy.
doing whatever the fuck she wanted.
That's
And
crazy.
then she's like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." And she'd be like, "Dude, why don't you listen to music?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm fine." And then she would go back to sleep. And like that's not the only time she does it. She does it in fucking plane rides. Like me, I can't fall asleep on the plane because
I
I'm just
can't either.
uncomfortable. I'm
Can't
uncomfortable and
do
I
it.
can't. Dude,
Can't
her,
do it.
bro, she has a fucking neck pillow. She's in the corner. 10 minutes of sitting down. She's already out and asleep. And I'm looking at her.
Yeah.
I'm like, how in the fuck are you
Can't
sleeping
do it.
already? We're not even taking off yet. We're still on the fucking tarmac,
Yeah.
and she's asleep. I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way. But like, that's her thing. So like, for me, like, I feel like I get my karma back from like how many times I went to sleep with her, and like, again, like, you can't help it. Like, I'm be like chilling in the car, and I'm like, I'm passing the fuck out, and I wake up and I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, I did it again.
Yeah, he did it. Rigo did it like when we talk about the infamous San Diego trip, like Rigo did it for that. Now, granted, there was more guys around, so it was a little bit easier to kind of deal with. But like the two guys in the back were ass out, fucking ASAP, fucking Rocky. Those
Dude,
fucking
we were
guys.
fucking hammered.
It was like 8:30 in the morning. Like they slammed a couple. I don't. It was Happy Dads, I think. No, Happy Dad.
Dude,
No,
no, it
I don't
wasn't
know what
Happy
it
Dad. It
was.
was Mike's. It was Mike's. It was Mike Cards.
Yeah, these motherfuckers. Hey, slammed a couple of those. We're on the road 10 minutes. Ass out. All both of them. They're both ass out. And me and the driver look at
Yep.
like we're like talking and we're like, bro, like, the fuck happened to these dudes? Um,
Yep. Good time.
but yeah, excellent time, great time, even. Um, but yeah, I don't even know how that story got to it. But that's the beauty of this fucking podcast, boys. Is we could just any little thing, and we could just kind of make it happen. That's what makes this special. Shout out to Red Bull. Shout out to Bucked Up for sponsoring.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do a better job of. I got to do a better job of recognizing them throughout the podcast. But yeah, Rigo,
Yeah.
anything else you want to talk about? I know
Nah.
there was a trailer for Supergirl. I know you're really stoked about that. Um, but yeah, I
With the
mean,
drill. Yeah, no, I think like Hearn like said it in the beginning of the pod. Like this is one of our more favorite ones because we just kind of like we kind of just shoot the shits and we talk about whatever like we haven't talked about. We don't really get a chance to talk about because mostly of it is about like football and stuff. So again,
true.
trailers and movies and foods and all that sort of stuff is like one of our favorite things. Clearly, Hearn loves talking about food. Movies is definitely our thing, right? And sports and stuff like that. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love um I have a good time. Um, I don't really have last minute things besides I can't wait to watch these movies, and I can't wait to see my buddy Hearn because my bachelor party's coming up soon. Um,
We're
so
still waiting. We get the confirmation yet?
we're still waiting on it.
Still waiting, boys.
But it's gonna happen. And we'll reveal the location once we
I
get there
can't wait.
because the
I can't
the
wait.
44 pod is gonna be recorded with the boys on
Yeah,
one episode. So it's gonna
I
be
can't
really,
wait.
yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to get
The
everybody
weekend
on the pod.
before, we're going camping. We're going camping, and Father's Day weekend, so that's always a lot of fun. And then I'll be back. We'll be into, for me at least, I'll be back into summer football, which I think is a very underrated part of the football season. Um, in terms of coaching, I think it's like one of those. I think it's one of the best times to build camaraderie with the boys. Not only the coaches, but like the actual boys that you're coaching. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that part of the year. And then yeah, we got the bachelor party, And then a couple months later, I'll be going to fucking Mexico for a
Mexico.
wedding. And then I think like almost 6 months later after that, hopefully I'll be going to another wedding after that. Um, or I'll be going to Alaska. One of the two. One of those two things is gonna happen. I just don't know which one. I don't know how I'll break down the other one if I can't go to the wedding, but I'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2026, boys. Is starting to turn out. I mean, it's starting to shake out like it's going to be a pretty great year.
Yeah.
When things start lining up for the Raiders, I think everybody's in trouble. That's what it kind of feels
And
like.
like I said,
It feels like the
NFL's way
Raiders the
better when
Raiders
the
can't
Raiders are
miss.
playing.
Feels like they
Yeah.
can't miss recently, or just they have luck on their side. Um, and I've yet to determine if that's a good or bad thing, but so far so good. So I think it's a good thing. Um, but it wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow night, we hear, Fernando Mendoza's a fucking abuser or something like that.
Oh my
You know,
God. I hope
just
not.
something just something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, once
But
again, thank you guys for tuning in, watching, commenting. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna clip from this one. So there was nothing too crazy in terms of takes. Maybe I'll clip something from, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But
yeah.
yeah, once again, thank you guys for always watching, liking, following, subscribing. The more followers we get on YouTube, like Rigo mentioned before, the faster we can actually start streaming live. I'd love to do like a Q&A like once a month on there. Like if once we get to that point, we can stream, do a little Q&A session or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
and
Hit
I
the
think it'll
subscribe
make it
button on
easier.
the.
So please subscribe
We got to
here
get
on
40
YouTube.
subscribers on YouTube. 40
I think
subscribers,
yeah,
we could do a live stream.
yeah. So please, if it doesn't take a whole lot. Make an account. If you need an email, I can give you one of my emails. I'll give you a little burner action. But yeah, just and no matter what, even if you're not going to subscribe, if you just tuned in for 5 minutes, we appreciate that. Because you guys just viewing at all gives us credit with YouTube, and like it'll allow us to kind of keep building this thing up. So, um, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, we appreciate you guys. Like Hearn said, we appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to our pod. Please follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and obviously Spotify.
you're
But we appreciate you guys taking the time. I'm your host, Mr. Hollywood himself. I got my co-host, Mr. Hernia, aka Stay Herny, and that is us signing off, guys. Peace out.